there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, CM Punk tells AEW that he hates this place.
CM Punk also threatens to quit AEW.
The Golden Vampire was not thrown out of All In.
And old Philly B left all alone at the airport.
Poor Phil. I'm Andy.
And I'm Phil.
But not that Phil.
Not that Phil, different Phil.
This is the CM Punk update. I'm not even going to say
This is everything you need to know about CM Punk.
So many stories have broken since the last time we were on camera. We thought the best thing to do today was to come in here and just go through them all one by one with the man himself looking over our shoulder, dressed up as an angel. Yeah, it's been an eventful weekend. Right, let's cover the Fightful Select, the most recent one to come out. Apparently CM Punk told people in AEW that he hates this place, referencing the company's frequent backstage problems. Of course, this comes in the wake of All In, where he had a bit of a thing. Maybe not punches. There's so many different accounts. He had a confrontation with Jack Perry.
Yes.
I think that's the only thing. Yeah, seems to be the only thing people agree on at this stage. Now, regarding the hates this place quote, Fightful sources have indicated that plenty within AEW, plenty of people believe that he is actually kind of responsible for a lot of those issues. So, hey, CM Punk, this is what he does. Fightful noted as well that CM Punk and Tony Khan hadn't communicated much since the All In situation unfolded. It's noted here that the All In backstage situation has been met with a lot of eye rolling and this again kind of responses, which is very understandable. Accounts vary. Some say that this guy shoved this guy, the other guy punched, there was a chokehold. There's all kinds of stuff going on. In their latest write-up, however, Fightful note that one source has indicated, and I quote, with 100% certainty, Jack Perry didn't throw the first punch. Punk shoved him and put him in a choke. Other people have said differently. Fightful, interestingly, note that Samoa Joe was a bit of a peacekeeper in all of this, but there's no further details on what happened there. And we know that the incident played out, of course, before Joe wrestled Punk, so it's kind of understandable. They stem from a previous backstage report where there was Punk took issue with Jack Perry wanting to use real glass in a segment. Perry was reportedly a bit upset with how the Punk camp represented that to the media. He considered going on camera at All In and going, yeah, that's real glass, cry me a river. He considered that a receipt. There was the confrontation backstage, and Perry had actually told people that he was going to say that to the camera beforehand. In my view, someone probably should have gone to him, that's not going to go well, my friend. But from there, the stories are scattered and inconsistent, and we're going to cover them all.
Yeah, we are, because in the fallout from this, CM Punk has reportedly threatened to quit AEW. Now, this one is coming from the PW Torch. They say that Punk wanted to create a drama-free locker room. Going well. But he has communicated since he returned that is one of his big goals, and he's largely achieved it over on Collision, as per this report. Though the restrictions on the personnel that he doesn't want showing up at these tapings has obviously caused a little bit of friction.
It includes the head of talent relations.
Yeah!
All right.
Good. So apparently after the event backstage, let's call it, Punk quickly regrouped, according to the PW Touch, following all the confrontations, and AEW were concerned that they may need to switch the opening match of the show with it being so close to Punk's actual match on the card, so then they prepared to switch the two first matches around, but then ultimately this didn't actually happen, and Punk went out first after all. So another source says that Jack Perry will end up taking the most of the blame since he initiated everything with his comments live on air in front of 81,000 people. And the source says that he probably should have known that it would have caused issues. Yeah, probably should have. They also said that they should know that Punk doesn't let these types of things slide as well. Which, yeah, you should also probably do this. Punk is definitely one to open up a spite store. Let's face it. So frustrations continue to mount with Punk, who also has apparently a controversial leadership style backstage, and that lots of these things have escalated when he could have just kind of avoided them and let them go, and then they've blown up in his face, which has happened on numerous occasions now, let's face it. So AEW's internal investigation may still lead to a different perspective on Punk, but for now it's strongly believed that Jack Perry will face the stronger punishment. And to finish this little section off, Brian Alvarez has done a tweet as well, saying the belief within AEW is that Punk and Jack are both suspended pending the results of the investigation, which would mean neither work all out. So it's already having ramifications as AEW are just about to head into Chicago for quite a few big shows.
Big pay-per-view in CM Punk's hometown, he gets suspended. You can't really make this up, can you?
Good.
We'll just keep rattling through these stories a little bit here, but let us know what you think so far. Punk seemingly threatened to quit AEW. Throw your comments down there. I'm sure you don't need to be invited.
Yeah.
We'll move on to our next story now, and it has emerged that, Jack Perry was thrown out of All In. He was asked to leave after the, whatever you want to call it, melee. But CM Punk was not. He was not asked to leave. In fact, he left of his own accord. This is from House of Wrestling. Nick Hausman doing the work over here. Noting that Punk got back to his locker room after the Joe match. He cleaned himself up. He went up to security and he kind of said, hey, would it be better if I leave? Like he understood that might be better off for everybody. And he was told, we're not going to tell you to leave, but yeah, it might be easiest if you do. Punk then left the building, returned to his hotel, and in my favourite detail of this whole story, he ordered Nando's for some wrestlers he was hanging out with after the show, getting his medium chicken in there. Very nice indeed. Good for Punk. House of Wrestling notes as well that as of Monday, there had been no indication of much communication between Punk and AEW, which follows on from the stuff about Tony Khan. However, his future in the company appears to be questionable, which of course it does. What on earth do we do with this situation, man? It's completely wild. What a mess.
There is more to this. We may as well finish off all these and then we'll get to our thoughts at the end of it all. Get all the information out there. So the final bit of the story is that when Punk arrived in London at Heathrow Airport, AEW sent nobody to go meet him or help arrange travel to get him to the venue. So this is coming from House of Wrestling as well. And they are reporting that, AEW sent no staff to go meet him at London's Heathrow Airport, leaving him all alone to navigate London's public transport. They report that they didn't even arrange a car to meet him or take him to his hotel or anything like that. So when he texted a number that he had been given to help arrange transport, it came back saying that the number was invalid, meaning that he had to make his own arrangements. Punk ended up buying a ticket for the London Underground and then getting a little bit lost, which I'm not entirely sure how you get lost on the London Underground. There's signposts everywhere.
It's really easy to use.
But it said it was fairly busy, and he got lost, and then he ended up speaking to some fans who recognised him, who helped him find his way. House of Wrestling are also stating that Punk arrived a bit late on London, later than everybody else anyway, because he had some filming things that he needed to do in the United States, and then he wanted to spend some time with his family before he came over, so he arrived on the Friday to land at the airport all alone, having to make his own way to his hotel and the venue.
This is kind of where it veers into comedy territory for me. It's like Phil's bad day. He puts some trumpet music over the top, like the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme.
Yeah, I love this note as well, because if you put it into the timeline of the whole thing, it starts off as Punk being really grumpy because he left at the airport all alone, and then it escalates into a fight backstage.
You mean I have to get public transport? Sorry, Phil Brooks, if you're watching, you're obviously not, but that's kind of funny. Imagine just a lost wrestler on the tube, which
way do I go?
Help me! How do I get to Wembley, sir? It's a whole thing. The little detail about him texting the number of the driver.
The number invalid. They gave him wrong digits.
Oh my god! What a whole thing! I'm pretty sure.
And
I'm pretty sure that people will use this to build all kinds of theories.
Yes.
There was some stuff about Twitter likes from a transport person that has since been deleted from Reddit. We understand. What a deal this is. Look, obviously, unless you were in the room, there's absolutely no way of being for certain who threw the first punch, who shoved who first, whatever.
The amount of contradicting stories that are coming out about it means... there's probably a truth somewhere in the middle of it all. I wouldn't believe any of the wild sides.
Yeah.
But it also kind of points out that nobody is in the right in this either.
Yeah.
Obviously Jack Perry probably shouldn't have gone out in front of 81,000 people and mocked CM Punk live on TV and pay-per-view across the world. And then it also shouldn't have escalated into a brawl backstage. Nobody wins in this situation. The same as nobody won in the first time this happened at All Out. It just overshadows what should have been an amazing moment for AEW.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, there's legitimately, within even just the stuff we've covered today, about 8 moments where you go, that person should have known better, that person should have... Like, there's so many. And when it comes to, like, the reports that are filing in, because Punk is so divisive, there are going to be people who are source-wise really anti him or really pro him, and that's why there's so many different versions. That's why you get the different camps feeding different information to different outlets. It's all over the blooming place. Indefinite suspensions and saying I quit or I want to quit and I hate this place and all this stuff. Yeah, I can imagine why he would say that in the heat of the moment. It's also, you know what's quite interesting to me as well, is that if you go back to Hangman, his issues with Punk, and he did the workers' rights promo live on air, where he knew Hangman wasn't going to come out. Well, it's kind of the same thing as this, except the roles are reversed. So obviously the circumstances are a bit different, but in terms of the act, provoking someone on air, man, it's the golden vampire in a nutshell. Yeah, man, what do we do?
I don't know. Let us know down in the comments below what you think of all of this. Which side do you believe? Are you on Punk's side? Are you on Jack Perry's side? Pick a goddamn side.
They got a bloody pay-per-view this weekend.
They have got a pay-per-view this weekend.
My God.
2 TV shows that they need to produce. It's absolutely mad. I like the details of this, of like the collision side of things being a little bit like settled, but then the fact that he's completely split off this entire group of people is obviously running people the wrong way. Like every single step of this, like putting him on his own TV show to try and calm things down and make that the calm area, is creating problems somewhere else. Like having him escalate these things is creating problems somewhere else. Like they're solving a problem to create a problem, and it's never going to stop until someone puts their foot down and says, enough of this, let's be goddamn adults.
And do some pro wrestling. It's crazy. But we've got a few Twitter questions on this. We do have one about Bray Wyatt and some other stuff as well, regarding creative, but we're gonna keep rolling with the punker for now. The first one comes from Mashed Potatoes on Twitter. I prefer roast potatoes, but mashed potatoes also good, especially if you make a little hole in the middle and put some gravy in there. Sensational. What an aside. Are incidents like Brawl Out and Brawl In ever going to stop in AEW? Real simple one. My quick answer is no. What is yours?
My quick answer is no also. Until someone, like I say, puts the foot down and actually, starts to manage this situation, Tony Khan, it's not gonna stop. It's the sort of inmates running the asylum kind of thing. If you're just gonna let them run around and do whatever they want, they're gonna keep on running around and doing whatever they want. It needs someone with a firm hand to stop this, and it looks like that ain't happening anytime soon.
It really does. It's just like, if I'm obviously, again, we're not privy to individual moments and managerial things. We're not there. But if I'm a manager and I see this happening in my team, and my team happens to be like this multi-million-dollar wrestling corporation, how do you keep letting this happen, and how do you not intervene? How do you not step in? Again, it's the classic pro wrestling of top stars getting away with doing whatever the heck they want. And look, I love CM Punk creatively. I loved his match with Joe on the pay-per-view. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy covering the chaos. It makes this job a lot more fun.
It's why we wanted Punk back in the first place.
Exactly, baby. But objectively, from a company standpoint, I don't see how this can continue much longer. And yet, things like this are going to keep happening until somebody puts the foot down.
Yep,
as
absolutely.
You say. Cyhawks has been on. Shout out to Cyhawks. Sent us in a lovely wrestling ring with some figures the other month. We need to get that in the background.
We do need to put this in the background.
New look to the set coming soon. Just the set, we won't do anything else. At some point soon, do AEW have to let Punk go? If every time there's a pay-per-view and the whole roster cross paths leads to more drama, and it's always him causing it, do they have to cut their losses? Yes. They probably do.
Yeah, you've got to mix up where the benefits and where the detriments lie within all of this. And obviously, he is a benefit on TV. He does draw.
He's great.
He is great. And that match last night was absolutely fantastic. Loved it. But you can't keep having this as a backstage environment, because it's I mean, if Punk's starting to threaten to quit over this, there's going to be other people that are just as annoyed, and other people are going to see this and maybe not want to come to the company, or they're going to be in the company and be tired of this rubbish going on backstage all the time and want to leave. Yeah. It's just going to cause unrest that's going to just escalate and escalate and escalate until something blows up or people leave or something happens. It's untenable.
It really is. And unless you can get, the parties that really don't like each other together and sort something out, it's going to keep on happening. Going by incidents like this, it doesn't seem like that's happening anytime soon.
Nobody seems to want to put the pettiness behind them.
Exactly. So, nuanced opinions. Here we go. One last question here. It's from Funky Worm on Twitter /X, and we've had a bunch of questions about what WWE could do with Bray Wyatt's legacy creatively that I kind of wanted to just dive into a little bit. We get a bunch of these every day, and it's very understandable because he was such a beloved figure, and rest in peace. Horrible time for his family. We're not going to cover that TMZ report that came out, by the way. I don't think stuff like that should be published, personally. But the question here is, hey Andy, long-time viewer and infrequent questioner, do you think that the remaining Wyatts in WWE, I assume Wyatt family members, Braun Strowman, Eric Rowan, Bo Dallas, obviously, not in the Wyatt family, but his brother, should be given a run in the tag division or allowed to use the Wyatt family theme as a forever tribute to Brody and Wyndham? So, my thing with this is that I think that it should be primarily down to the people involved and the family, right? I think that if Eric Rowan wants to come back to WWE and do a tag team with Braun Strowman to honor that legacy, and maybe Bo wants to get involved, and if the JoJo and Mike and the extended Rotunda family, if they're all cool with that and that's something they would like to see, I think that would be a lovely thing to do. If even one person in that link is not cool with it, I think it's best to not do it. I thought the SmackDown episode on Friday was beautiful.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Really, really touching. They did a tremendous job honouring Bray, obviously, and Terry Funk as well. And it was, just so well done. But it's a really tricky situation, and I think ultimately it should be down to those closest to Bray.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. On a personal level, I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of torn because if they want to do it and they've got an idea for it, and it's handled respectfully, I think it could be really good. But at the same time, without Bray being the sort of creative force behind it, that's kind of taking away something about what he was in terms of the sort of massive creative force behind the Wyatt family and the Fiend and all the changes and everything he did in WWE. He was hugely creatively driven, and without him leading that, I think it probably lose something and maybe take something away from sort of what he was as a person, maybe. So I'm kind of torn in both ways. Yeah. But it could be handled really nice, and it could be done really well.
And it was cool at the weekend as well. At All In, seeing the Fireflies during the House of Black's entrance, and Buddy put down the lantern, and so many people. We saw so many people with tribute shirts or Hawaiian shirts and straw hats and stuff.
Yeah.
And I met a bunch of people who had made custom shirts as well that we then met at the show, and really a horrible situation across the board. I hope the family are doing as best as they can, given the circumstances. But
I also don't think we need a tag team to be formed in order for his memory to live on. I think that's gonna happen regardless, based on the work that he put out there.
Indeed. And we should mention as well that AEW talent are being, if they want to, given this Wednesday off Dynamite to attend the services. That's another story that's come out today, which is, it's nice across the board. Pro wrestling's in mourning. Nobody's more important than the family and the closest friends of Wyndham Rotunda in this situation. So with that said, we're going to leave this one at that. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you soon.